How's it going, everybody? Another day, another vlog. I thought for this video I'd talk about things I've been reading over the last several years, mostly referring to literature. Now, I know for the past several years I've been reading a lot of comics, and you guys probably know about my comic corner, right? Here is the comic corner, right here. If you haven't seen my series, go and check out my playlist of all of the episodes I recorded for the comic corner. Lots of comics in here. Lots and lots of comics. Especially a lot of Batman comics. For this vlog, I thought I'd share with you guys some of the books I have read more recently, and then a couple of series that I read during the days when I was homeschooling. So, without further ado, let's get started. So the first series of books I'm going to show you guys is something I read back when I was in middle school. Again, I was homeschooled during this time. My first book I read from my mom's own library, but then years later she got me my own set. It's The Chronicles of Narnia. Now, I only read one of the books from The Chronicles of Narnia during middle school. I got to read the rest later on down the road, but as you can see, this is the full set of books from The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. There are 7 books total, and I'll go ahead and show you them right now. First book is The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and last but not least, The Last Battle. Now, I've got to honestly state this, but this kind of has a bit of a Star Wars story, because the first book that was released was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, when in the series it's supposed to be The Magician's Nephew. So the reason I say it's Star Wars is because C.S. Lewis basically started off with this one, and then he worked on the other books. Now, if I was to put these in the actual order, it would go as follows. The first book would have been The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Up next, Prince Caspian. Then we have The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair, Last Battle, and then he goes back to start the series off with The Magician's Nephew, and then one more story between The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian, The Horse and His Boy. So this is how the series would look. So book 1 would be number 2, then 4, 5, 6, 7, then 1 and 3. This is the actual series of books by C.S. Lewis. And I will be rereading these again at some point, but this is a really good series. So now we're going to head into the movies, the theatrical releases of the books. So how many books were made into movies? Well, only 3 out of the 7. We have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Walt Disney and Walden Media released the first film, which was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in 2005. Then in 2008, same thing, Walt Disney and Walden Media did Prince Caspian, but then something happened between Disney and Walden Media, so they parted ways, and Walden Media went to 20th Century Fox, and then later on did The Voyage of the Dawn Treader in 2010. And that's basically what killed the series, because Disney did a fantastic job with Narnia. 20th Century Fox, or should I say 20th Century Studios now, didn't do so great with Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And I hate to say this, but, well, I'm sad to say this, but it's actually one of my favorite books in the series. So I was really disappointed on how poorly they did such a bad job with this film. But the other films, like, honestly, the very best Narnia film I've seen in this series is obviously Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe. It is superb. There were just very minor tweaks in the movie, but other than that, this was by far the best, like almost spot on, directly from the book to movie. It was unbelievable. Prince Caspian had a few little more tweaks than Narnia's first film, but the one that really messed up was the third movie. And then we haven't seen a movie since. It's now been about 10 years since this was released. It's crazy to think. This one, 15 years. Can you believe that? My goodness. There are rumors flying around that it was either Netflix or Hulu or Amazon, one of the 3. They were planning on doing something for Narnia, but I don't know, but we'll see. On to the next series of books. Let's fast forward to the days of when I was in high school, and yes, I was still homeschooled during this time. And my next series of books is actually another very popular franchise. In fact, the author was friends with C.S. Lewis. Yes, I'm talking about J.R.R. Tolkien, and you can probably guess what series I'm referring to. Yes, I am talking about The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Now, believe it or not, years later, after I finished reading these books, I found out there was a 5th book that was even before The Hobbit. Well, historically, it was the 5th book that Tolkien wrote, but if you were to chronologically put this in a particular area in the franchise, it would actually be before The Hobbit. And I'm referring to this one, I'm going to pronounce this so badly, but the Silmarillion. Yeah, the Silmarillion. Oh, before I forget, I want to show you guys these. You may notice these tassels on here on the box. What are these for? What do you think they are? Well, I'll show you what they are in a little bit. So unfortunately, I didn't read this during my days in high school, but I actually read this several years afterwards. And again, like I stated, this really was kind of stressful reading this one. I'll have to reread this again to see if I could get through the whole way through. I probably got through maybe that much and then stopped. But this was interesting to read. It's basically the history of Middle-earth. And then my first Tolkien book that I read was this one, The Hobbit, or There and Back Again, written by Bilbo Baggins, but really J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, again, the tassels. What are these tassels here? Well, let me show you. These are bookmarks. They're bookmarks that I've gotten over the years, and I put them into books. Look at this. This one is Frodo. He's holding on to Sting there, and this one's from The Fellowship of the Ring. Now, I'm actually reading this book again right now as we speak, so I actually have another bookmark in here if I can find it without messing everything up. And there he is. The story is about Bilbo, so guess what? We do have a Bilbo bookmark. And unfortunately, the tassel wasn't on this one. And again, this is from The Fellowship of the Ring. And as you can see, he is holding on to the ring right there. Now, you may notice I have the ring on this one right here. The one ring to rule them all. You can see it's got the inscription there on the ring itself. This is just Legolas and Gimli. I don't know why they had the one ring on this one, but it's there. And this one's from The Two Towers. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I decided to put this one in this one because I have it on the very edge of the box. That way you can see it right here. Yeah, just for fun. The next book I read was this one, The Fellowship of the Ring, being the first part of the Lord of the Rings. Now, if you were to actually put these together, this would be about 1,000 pages, guys. And they do actually have versions where they have the entire books all together in one big, gigantic book. And of course, the publisher, when he saw this book, he's like, let's break this up. J.R.R. Tolkien was like, no, I want to break it up. I was like, yeah, you better. You'll get better money that way. So they broke it up into 3 sections. The first one being The Fellowship of the Ring. Let me go ahead and show you guys the bookmarks. Here we have Gimli. This is Gimli from, I think this is from The Fellowship. Yep, The Fellowship of the Ring. The other bookmark in here with this special little, what looks like an eye ornament, is actually Aragorn. This is Aragorn right here, and this is from The Two Towers. Nice. Up next, we have The Two Towers, being the second part of The Lord of the Rings. We have 2 more bookmarks in here. This may look like a snake, but it's actually a lizard, so who could this be? It's not Slytherin, I can tell you that. No, it's just good old Grima Wormtongue. One of the weirdest characters in there. And then, yes, this is obviously from The Two Towers, black bookmark. And then this one is pretty cool. Check this out. It's got a metal silver horse on it. Ooh, royalty. Let's see. Is it really royalty? Let's find out. Who is it going to be? Ah, it's King Theoden. And I believe this is from The Two Towers as well. Yep, Two Towers. And last but not least, we have The Return of the King, being the third part of The Lord of the Rings. Now, we have, once again, 2 more bookmarks. And this one doesn't have anything on it, but this one does. I'm going to say that one for last. What is the gold tassel one for? Ooh, orcs. Lots of orcs. And this one is from The Fellowship of the Ring. And last but not least, let's check out the last bookmark here. I technically have another bookmark that was supposed to be in this one. It was another orc one. It was purple. It was really cool, but I guess I lost it. But last but not least, check this one out. This one has an eyeball. Ooh, yes, this is the Eye of Sauron. So who could this possibly be? Yes, it is Sauron. I do have a Sauron bookmark. That is cool. And this is from The Two Towers as well. And that, my friends, is my Lord of the Rings and Hobbit collection. Now, if I was to hold this up with the tassels hanging down, that's what it would look like right there. That is pretty cool, right? Now, you know what I'm going to be talking about next, right? Yep. The movies. So all 3 books are made into films by the same name. We have The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Basically, all 3 books got movies of the same name. However, it was decided that for The Hobbit, it would also be made into 3 movies. Now, if you've never seen the Hobbit films, I would highly encourage you to read The Hobbit first, and then watch the movies. Because there's a lot of stuff in the Hobbit movies that were never mentioned in The Hobbit. And the only reason I can think of for them making 3 films for The Hobbit was because they wanted to basically make a 2 set of trilogies from Tolkien's work. So in other words, they wanted to make all 3 books from Lord of the Rings and then make 3 more films for The Hobbit. Technically, The Hobbit could have been easily 2 films. Now, compare the size of the Lord of the Rings book to The Hobbit. Yeah. How in the world can you make 3 films from Lord of the Rings and still expect to do 3 films for The Hobbit? I don't get that. I don't get that whatsoever. But they did. So we have the first Hobbit film, An Unexpected Journey, and the next one being The Desolation of Smaug. He doesn't even die in this movie, okay? Desolation of Smaug, but he doesn't die, alright? Then the last one we have The Battle of the 5 Armies. Alright. Now moving on to my final series of books. This series I didn't read at all until my late 20s and into my 30s. As you guys are probably aware, yes, I do work at Universal Studios Hollywood. I work at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And at that time, I had never seen the movies or read the books. Now, I knew that if I was to work there, I would have to know the characters. So, I got the movies and I read the books. So here we go with the first book. By the way, when you see them, some of them may look a little bit rough. That's because I was reading these while I was at work, so if they look a little rough on the edges, I apologize, but the first one's pretty good. Here we go. We have the first one, the extraordinary national bestseller, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I think, honestly, this is the best one in the entire series. I typically enjoy, like, the first couple of books in any series, and then the other ones, they just fall into place. They're like, it's okay, but really, I think the best work is usually in the first books, and definitely in this one for sure. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or if you were in England, it would be the Philosopher's Stone. That is kind of a little trivia there for you guys. So J.K. Rowling right there. And by the way, for a kids series, like a novel series, yikes, they get bigger as they go along. The next book we have, of course, is The Chamber of Secrets. Number 3 being The Prisoner of Azkaban. For the longest time, I kept saying something else. I can't remember what it was, but I just kept saying it wrong all the time. Honestly, I think this is a good second, in my opinion, in terms of favorite reading of the books. This is The Goblet of Fire. I really like this one a lot. This was really good. Then this one, I would say, is my least favorite in the series, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on this one. It is The Order of the Phoenix. As you can see, there's a lot of reading to do in this one. And just out of curiosity, how many pages are in this one? Oh, good lord. This is almost as big as The Lord of the Rings. This is 870 pages. Yikes. And just for fun, how many pages are in the Sorcerer's Stone? Oh, wow. It's only 309 pages. That's interesting. And then up next, we have The Half-Blood Prince. And then last but not least, we have The Deathly Hallows. I'm actually, like, nearing the halfway point in this book. I remember I stopped reading this at one point. I haven't finished reading it, so I gotta finish reading it because I haven't got to the point where, you know, they have the big battle. Now, I know I said last but not least, but I also got this one, The Cursed Child. It's by J.K. Rowling as well, and this is the play that they wrote, the 8th story, 19 years later. A lot of folks have been saying that it's kind of a meh story and the book, but the play's better. I don't really know. I can't justify that because I haven't read it yet. I'm going to be probably reading it after this one. So give me time because I'm going to read this one for sure when I'm finished reading Deathly Hallows. Whew, well, that's a lot of reading, guys. Yikes. And as you can probably imagine, yes, these were all made into movies. Well, except for this one, so that one doesn't count. Here we go. We got the first one being The Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban. Then we have The Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix. Then the next one, The Half-Blood Prince. And then, last but not least, Deathly Hallows didn't get one film. It got 2 films, parts 1 and 2. Now, much like Deathly Hallows here, I still haven't seen this one yet. Even though the wrapper's off of it, I still have not seen this. Yeah. So, much like the book, I read the first half, but haven't seen the rest. Or read the rest of the book. So, anyways, I got some catching up to do. Now, I know that there are 2 other films out there by Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling, and they are the Fantastic Beasts films. It's gotten mixed reviews, at least both of them. I know there's actually a third one that we're going to be working on soon. Now, I haven't seen the movies, but I do have the screenplays from both of these films. So here we go. They're kind of like novels in a way. Here we have the first one being Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the original screenplay. And then the second one here, The Crimes of Grindelwald, right there. Haven't read the books just yet. I'm thinking that when I read the screenplays, I'll see the movies. Now, I know there are rumors flying around out there about a third Fantastic Beasts film. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. I think they were going to go into production, but then once the you-know-what happened, everything just got shut down. I've also heard rumors that they're going to be bringing back the entire original cast to work on a new Harry Potter film, and some people are guessing it might be The Cursed Child. That would be kind of interesting to make this into a movie with the original cast returning to play their characters in this film. They may do that for this. That'd be kind of an interesting thing to do. We'll see. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you guys how stressful that was, but there they all are. All in one spot at the same time. We have C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, and J.K. Rowling. What's your favorite book or series? Well, guys, that is it for my vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. It is greatly appreciated. Be sure to check out my other vlogs here on YouTube, as well as my other channels. The Educational Series, the Disneyland Video Series, and the Travel Town Series. You can find me on Instagram. The link will be down below in the description of this video, as well as my P.O. Box address. Alright, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. And since I say in Hollywood, still not in Hollywood, I'm at home reading lots of books. That, my friends, is a wrap. See you tomorrow. Go read some books.